Did you know that we are back in person children's church? This week you're going to receive this little flyer if you were not there this Sunday, and this will be in your mailing, which will also of course have your lesson 2, which is going to be aired this week. So this will start next week, next Monday. Do not fear, I am with you. So it goes through the Bible verse and stuff. But this here talks about what the check-in. So make sure you check your mail this week. Also in this week's mailing is our this little game thing here, which is pretty cool, as well as a Bible story puzzle. So can you guess what our story is on today? I wonder. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact the church office. But once you start attending regular church, again, then I'm not going to be mailing these. I'll probably be mailing something else to you, so that because we're doing 2 different curriculums. The one online is going to be different from what we're doing in the service, and I don't want you to be overwhelmed with curriculum. So with that being said, let's get on to our lesson. You know, we all have places where we'd rather not go. For me, I don't like the heat, so anywhere it's going to be hot or over 70 degrees on a regular basis, I don't want to go. And I'm curious where you wouldn't want to go. Do you like hot places? Maybe there's someone's house that you don't enjoy going over to. I mean, we all have those types of places, I'm sure. I don't know. Well, in today's story, we remember now that Joseph last week, he was sold to slave traders, and then the slave traders then sold him to one of Pharaoh's men named Potiphar, and he was an Egyptian officer. So Joseph was a slave. Now remember, he probably didn't speak Egyptian, and he didn't know anybody, and on top of that, he was a slave, so he was all alone. So it seems kind of like things were unfair for Joseph, but the Bible tells us that God was with Joseph the whole time, and God helped Joseph do well in everything he did. You know, Potiphar really liked Joseph because of all the good work Joseph did, and it was amazing. God was truly with Joseph. I'm like, it was not doubted and at all, and because of Joseph, everything was better in Potiphar's house. Now, Potiphar was really glad. He didn't have to worry about anything. He knew that everything was going to be taken care of if Joseph was in charge. Now, one person that Joseph was not in charge of was Potiphar's wife. And one day she came up with this really bad idea, and she wanted Joseph to be her boyfriend. Now remember, she's married to Potiphar, and Joseph knew that that would not be right. So he kept far away from her. In fact, one time he ran away from her and left his jacket. Well, Joseph made up his mind that he was not going to sin against God. He was not going to do what Potiphar's wife wanted him to do. And we don't know her name. She just called Potiphar's wife. So we're going to call her Mrs. Potiphar. Well, she was so mad at Joseph that she lied to Potiphar and said that he tried to take advantage of her. And she said, and Potiphar, I think he knew what was going on there. He knew what his wife was like, and he also knew what Joseph was like. But he had to do something. You know, he couldn't call his wife a liar. That was just not very nice, a very nice thing to do. And it's not nice to put someone in jail who doesn't belong there, but that's what happened, is that Joseph got put in jail for it. Well, God was still with Joseph, even though he was in a really not so nice place. And there were 2 men that eventually came into the jail too. And one was the royal cupbearer, and this person was the one who would drink from the cup before it went to Pharaoh to make sure there was no poison. And the other one was a royal baker. Now, one night, both of these men had very, very strange dreams, and the next morning, Joseph noticed that they were upset because, see, Joseph, he was one of those people, he cared about people. That's part of why he was put in charge of Potiphar's household, is Potiphar saw how he cared about people. And even the guards were like, you know what? This Joseph guy, he really cares about people. So he was kind of put in charge of people even in the jail. You know, just kind of, I don't know, maybe he was their welcoming committee. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Kind of a thing. Getting to know, what's your name? Hey, Just want to let you know, don't eat the cakes. They're not that great. I don't know what he did, but well, he noticed that these men were upset, and Joseph told the men that God knew what these dreams meant because they didn't. And so he told the men to tell them their dreams. So Joseph listened to the royal cupbearer and the royal baker, and God helped Joseph understand those dreams. And so Joseph told both those men what their dreams meant. And in 3 days, guess what? The royal cupbearer did get his old job back, which was awesome. And Jesus told him, when you go back to work, please remember me. Please be kind. Mention me to Pharaoh. I've done nothing to deserve being in prison. Then Joseph told the baker what his dream meant too, but that one wasn't so good news. In 3 days, Pharaoh was going to have that baker killed. Now, I don't know why. I don't know what the baker did. It doesn't tell us, but that was what was going to happen. So sure enough, 3 days later, guess what? Pharaoh did send for both men from the prison, and everything happened exactly as Joseph said. The royal cupbearer got back his job, and the royal baker, well, he died. So that's not the end. Did the royal cupbearer remember Joseph? I guess we'll find out more next week.
Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10.